talking, try to find out what everybody's interested in. There's a lot of things that I do that people claim to have an interest in, but then they don't know much about it. So I am a forensic researcher. So what that means is that I get contracted out by state, county, sometimes private families, stuff like that, to work on unsolvable cold cases, essentially. And what I do is I get all the court documentation, all the transcripts, all the memos, affidavits, sworn testimony, all that stuff. I go through all that and go through it again and again and again, like 20, 30 times. And then if there's anybody that's still alive from this case, because some of them are 40, 50-year-old cases. A couple of them are stuff that actually happened not that long ago, like within the last 6 months, that there's just no leads on. So what it is people that just have an innate ability to be able to piece together puzzles, I guess you could call it. That's what we do. Right now, I am currently the only licensed and state registered, yeah, that's a thing now, forensic researcher. Nobody else has that distinction. And that's not so much because there's not that many people qualified to do it. It's more because people just don't want to do something without the guarantee of money with it. So that is a big thing. How do I make this bigger? I want to... No, but I'll put it in the middle. How about that? That'll work too. There is no same one. There's only... Okay. There we go. Oh, wow, my boobs are big. Okay. Ooh, I got a little slippery. So yeah, that's what I do, is forensic researching and everything. That's my main job. I also am I raise collies. Come here, Emily. Come here, baby. Get up. Get up, mama. Come here. Come here, mama. Come here. Get in the camera. That's Emily. Oh, yeah, I know. I raise... Sorry, I didn't mean to put my elbow in your mouth. I raise and train rough collies, lassie dogs, essentially, for service dogs, for veterans, mostly with PTSD. They are a service dog. They are legit and everything, but they're more for anxiety and PTSD, those kind of issues that a lot of our veterans face. Collies are great service dogs. They really are. Just companions in general. They're just a really great dog. They're very gentle, very kind. They're just a great dog. My jacket is twisted on me. I'm sorry. So yeah, I do that, and then I also show dogs. And you're not a show dog though. You're my mama dog. She's my mama dog. She's my baby. Looking all stoic, aren't you? Then she winked at me. But yeah, I also show dogs. I do meet the breed with my kennel club. So that's like the adult side of me, is doing that. Other than that, I just do whatever just seems fun, which can be... Oh, well, thank you. That was very nice. That was very nice. High evolutionary, which obviously you are because you said that. But yeah, so that's what I do. I'm also a ripperologist, which is a legit thing. And anybody interested in being a ripperologist, I can tell you exactly how to do it. Just know a lot about Jack the Ripper, pretty much. Pretty much know everything that there is to know about him, and you can be a ripperologist too. So yeah, crime, criminal justice, the legal system, that is my bread and butter. I love criminal justice. I love the law. I love all that. I am also very much an eye for an eye and very pro death penalty. But anyways, yes. Speaking of something new that has come out, the Ted Bundy thing, that was... Oh my God, that was so massively awesome for me because I wrote in undergraduate school, I wrote a dissertation about Ted Bundy and the different things that he has given the criminal justice system, the behavioral science unit, the criminal profiling, all of that, that if it wasn't for him, we would not have any way of profiling people and foreseeing triggering events. You know, it's just, I mean, Roy Hazelwood, John Douglas, all of them, they would not exist if it was not for the additions and contributions of somebody like Ted Bundy. He was able to look at a crime scene and be like, yeah, that doesn't go there. That guy planted that there. Nurse CN. Thank you. Actually, I am kind of hot in this sweater, but thank you for noticing. So yeah, that he was a monster. I'm not justifying or fangirling anything about him. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What he did was abhorrent. But he's fascinating. I mean, I pride myself on being able to look at somebody when they talk and decipher when they are being dishonest. I mean, it's a natural, innate ability of mine. Given at the end of the show. Do I believe that treatment could have helped Bundy sooner? No, I do not, and this is why. Like I was saying, I pride myself on being able to read people very easily and very well. And what always fascinated me about Ted Bundy is I felt like I could not find that connect with him. I couldn't tell when he was being deceptive versus just, what are you chewing on? Mama, Emily, don't chew that. That's a measuring cup. Emily, no, baby. Thank you. No. And so, stop, baby, stop, mama. Lay down, lay down. And so, I'm sorry about that. But no, I don't think he ever did not have full control over what he was doing. I think he was 100% in control. I mean, like going by the documentary, they talked about how when they wanted to do, and Bundy is the first case to introduce forensic odontology into the court system, and that has been a revolutionary science added to our criminal justice system. I mean, to all criminal justice systems. There's 42 countries, I believe, that accept forensic odontology as a legit form of science, basically. But how he was enraged, he was mad. He's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to eat. And they was like, oh, come on. You know I'm not a violent guy. Yeah, I'll do it. I think those little outbursts like that are as much control that Ted ever lost. I believe that he was completely in control all the time. And the thing is I don't think anything would have helped him. I don't think anything would have stopped him. But I do not believe we actually should have executed him. I think he offered so much insight into the criminal mind and just the criminal being. And he was fine talking about it because it bought him time. So I do think that we should have kept him alive because he was more than willing to cooperate and give his opinions and all that on everything. So I absolutely think we should have kept him alive. Because he proved to be an invaluable resource to us. There's some others that, I mean, they didn't, like, I always hate it whenever something goes on, like a shooting, even a serial killer, whatever, just anything like that, and then the bad guy, for all intents and purposes, kills himself. I hate that. I want to know why they did it. I want to know what their thinking was, and that is a big problem that we face in the U.S. Well, a lot of countries do this too, but I'm speaking from the U.S. because that's where I'm at. We want the bad guy dead. We want to shoot him. We want to kill him. We want him right now. Where with people that are interested in the thinking behind it, it's like, okay, that's fine and dandy. You can give him the death penalty. Do whatever you want, but let's see what information we can get from him. We need to profile these people, study these people in order to prevent things like this from happening again, instead of just like, oh yeah, that's another Bundy, that's another Dahmer, that's another Chikatilo. You know, you can so easily lump them in and be like, okay, they fit these, let's say, 40 different categories, all the way from the Bean Clan to now, to, the Las Vegas shooter. You can do that whole span. And the thing is you can either lump them in and be like, okay, well, they're closest to this, they're closest to that, and so on. Or you can be like, you know what? No. While they do share commonalities with them, that's not what matters. What matters is, this happened in their life. Or maybe there was a medical thing where they were deprived of oxygen for a while, jacked up their brains. I am putting it in the most layman's and simplest terms, because I don't want to sound like a jerk, like I'm on my high horse or anything. It's just, this is what I do. This is what I love. I love criminal justice. But yeah, I do think that Bundy could not have been helped, but Bundy was an invaluable asset to us. And that took me so long to be able to answer your question like that. I'm sorry. And I do think that the death penalty, I do acknowledge the flaws in the death penalty. I absolutely do. I'm not sure. Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of people use, well, hold on, let me backtrack that. Not a lot of people. I do think some people use mental illness as an excuse for their behavior. Like, you can watch Investigation Discovery, and then you can watch TLC's My 600-Pound Life. And I was sexually abused when I was a child. They a lot of them will have extremely similar backstories, but that person decided to kill and skin a whole community. This one just decided to eat 400 pounds bigger. So everybody copes differently, but I do not think that just because you've had trauma that necessarily equates to any kind of behavioral, psychological, any of those issues later in life. I do not think that it is like a guaranteed thing. I think it makes it a greater possibility. Now, yes, Ed Gein, who was the basis for Psycho and Silence of the Lambs, he's overblown in popularity. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This sounds bad, but he's not really even a serial killer. Yeah, he's a grave robber. What he did was, honestly, had he not killed the two people in the shop, which he didn't even do with the chainsaw, he shot them. Had he not done that, then I would argue his name even being remembered. He was a grave robber, and liked to make lamps and belts and vests and outfits with that. But go ahead and make a suggestion. This is just whatever anybody wants to talk about. I'm good with. Just when it comes to criminal justice, I can get on the flow and keep going. But yeah, he wasn't really a serial killer. He did kill two people, but serial killers typically 3 or more. So he's not, anywhere near Starkweather or anything, Charles Starkweather. But yeah, I think because of the audacity of what he did with the skin. Somebody's texting me about sushi. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't want sushi yet. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. I put the jacket on to offer a little more coverage, but it's really hot in here, especially with the lights on me, and I'm trying to do everything I can to not do that of sweat or something. But yes, I do appreciate that, and thank you very much. I'll try not to sit us straight, I guess. Um, yeah, most of the messages I get from people on here are the private messages of, show me your boobs and all that. It's like, in the modern day of internet, do you really need to ask somebody to show your boob? Google it. If you go on my Instagram, you see just like, I'm doing this and that's it. Like, no nip, but yeah, I mean, I'm not one of the, like those cam girls, like, oh my God, look at me. What is on my sleeve? I just saw that. Yeah, I think that's where the dog sniffed me. Um, yeah, I don't ever do anything that I would not show my mother. That's how I pictured it. I worked in corrections for almost a decade at the at the second. It was the first at the time. Now it is the second largest correctional facility in the United States. It is also the shadiest. Oh my God, the things that I saw there, like the inmates, I did not have problems with. I mean, I had my face bashed in a couple times by him, but that was normally because another officer decided to be a tank warrior and get him going. Thank you. Yeah, I've noticed that there's a lot of very, very young girls on here, but I don't see anybody as competition. I don't see myself as being their competition. I figure, hey, there's a certain kind of, person, certain kind of group that I would like to attract, people that can keep the conversations going, that are just interesting. So I figure, all right, I might win out on that 18-year-old with the tight little bod. So you can either have a girl that looks good or an educated woman. I don't think I look half bad. I might not be the most beautiful, but I don't look half bad. But yeah, so the county was real shady, but I worked there for almost 10 years. And I realized one thing when I worked there is at the time we were still selling newspapers. Every Friday it was a quarter for the Dallas Morning News. Or a dollar, I'm sorry, it was a dollar for the Dallas Morning News. And we would run out of papers sometimes and we'd have to wait for more to come in. And always the big man tank, the 24-man tank, they're called the aggravated tanks. That's normally where, yeah, they put the most people in the smallest tank and even call it the aggravated tank. That's where the murderers, the real heavy, like, they're going straight from this jail to court to prison. And they normally were, it was a big mob mentality in those tanks, but if they liked you, you were gold. Like, you never had to worry about anything. Your first line of defense in corrections are the inmates. A lot of times, officers, if they don't like you, they will not come. Face that a couple times. Yeah, anyway, I even wrote a book about it because it was that bad. Aw, thank you. I was actually born in Scotland and lived in Germany until I was 8. So my mom, both my parents are American. My mom is from up north. My dad is from the south. So, and I'm really congested right now. Sorry. But when you put them together, it resulted in like a blank accent for my brother and I. So that was kind of interesting. The thing is if I'm around people that do have an accent, I will start taking up and picking up their accents. So it's not like foreign accent syndrome or anything, but yeah, I mean, kind of. But yeah, oh, and I hate it whenever I'm around people with heavy country accents because I pick that one up so quick. And then I will find myself talking like this and everything, and I just cannot stop it until I'm around other people that do not sound like this. Why? I hate that. Right outside of Hamburg, actually. And so, yeah, anyway, so criminal justice, bread and butter. I love it. Horror movies, I love reading, mostly the boring adult books. Right now I'm reading 10 Days in a Mental Asylum by Nellie Bly. And it's about a woman, a reporter. It's her book. It's her like diary pretty much that she published into an autobiography of getting into the Blackwater Mental Institution in New York, I believe. And I just started it, so she's just, oh, really? And so I just started it last night, actually, so she's still in the preparation phase and trying to get herself committed. But the book is about her getting herself committed so she could get into the, it wasn't supposed to be this, oh my God, look at the horrible treatment. It wasn't supposed to be anything like that. What it was supposed to be is her publisher wanted her to go into the institute. What are you growling at? I don't know what she's growling at. I'm the only one in the room. What, Mama? I don't know what that's about. What? What? Oh, Mama. But yeah, she was just supposed to talk about, what she saw in there and all that. And it ended up being, just like, and I mean, it was the equivalent in the late 1800s to World War I, because that was the last time her book was in print before it came back out of print. It was what Geraldo Rivera had essentially done. Okay, I can't pet you anymore. Your head's dropping too low. So it was really shines a light on the mental health facilities and everything. And oh man, if you're not crazy when you go into those places, you are a day later. Oh God, I cannot even begin to imagine. I consider myself to be a very strong will and conviction. I do everything. I whole ass everything. And I just, I think that place would break me in no time. And I do not consider myself a person that could be broke, but absolutely, that place would shatter me down to just nothing. I have read a couple different theories about the Zodiac Killer possibly being a Native American, or kind of like the Bean Bender clan, where it was just continued on. So I think it's interesting. I find the Zodiac very. She's got that cup again. Give me that. Realize I didn't cover my top when I got up. Okay. You got my hand all wet, girly. Make sure I'm not exposing. Yeah, you love me, Mama. And yeah, I have read that I don't even need the keyboard on my lap. I don't know why I'm holding it. That hold on, let me see what it looks like if I sit back, if I'm going to be showing too much. It's like a 10-second delay or something. Let me get my hair out of it. I burned my hand. That's what that is. Ugh, looks really bad on camera. But yeah, I have read about the Native American theory, Canadians doing it and everything, all that different stuff. And the thing is with how much, with the scintilla of evidence we have, I mean, we don't even have a scintilla of evidence about the Zodiac. We have nothing. I mean, he's dead of old age if it was one person. But I think that because we know nothing about him for all intents and purposes, and that's assuming that it's even a he. I mean, I think it's safe to assume, just following the evidence and all that. So I mean, I do think it is safe to say that it is a male. But that's like it. Oh, it's always the French. Oh man, it's always the French's fault. I mean, come on. I remember after September 11th, a lot of people I know started to call French fries freedom fries. I didn't go that far. But no, I always would blame Canadians, or I would blame the French. There's French Canada. I'm not saying that means anything. I'm just saying that link, that coincidence is just a little strong. The two people I blame for everything, and there's an area where they're the same person. I'm just saying. I remember when I was 14 or so. I think I was 14. I met this girl on a MSN chat, and she lived in Canada. And I'd never heard a Canadian speak. And I was like, I don't care how much this is going to cost me in long distance. I'm calling this chick and I'm going to see how she talks. If she really says a boot. And what was funny is she didn't say a boot. She said a boat. And so I'm trying to get her to say a boot. I'm, trying to lead into that to where, like, she has to say that word at some point. And she never did. But she kept saying a boot. And I thought she was talking about an actual boot. I thought she was making fun of me because I'm in Texas. And then I realized, oh my God, she says about even funnier than I thought she would. But yeah, that whole phone call just to get an easy little Bart Simpson toilet swirling the other way laugh cost me like $30. It cost my parents $30. I was a kid. I do have to say, though, Canadians are nice for the most part to a fault. I do have to give them that. They're very, very tolerant. Sherman, I don't live too far from there. I'm right outside of DFW. Well, I'm in DFW, but not in Dallas or Fort Worth, like in that hub. But yeah, Sherman, that's a boatload of nothing there. But yeah, so Zodiac, I can't even proffer an idea of. I think any valid theory, for as long as it's not like, aliens, something like that. I do. Yes, I support a lot of, like the death penalty, and I'm pro-gun and all that. So they consider that to be conservative. I absolutely do not follow any political party. I hate politics and I hate politicians. I am nothing. I don't even say independent or what. No. I don't classify me as anything in that. I don't go Democrat. I don't go Republican. None of that. But that has become a big thing here in the U.S. is, oh, you liberal snowflake, or you conservative alt-right Nazi. There's no dudes. You're just not people anymore. You have to align yourself now. It's like you're playing real life Dungeons and Dragons. And nobody knows who the damn DM, the dang DM is. So, I know, Emily. It's frustrating, isn't it, Mama? I love you. But, yeah, so I wouldn't make it, for one, Canada, their gun laws are very strict. The whole AR, AK thing, I don't care about that, whatever. But I do think every good standing citizen should have the legal right to have a firearm to protect themselves. I don't need a machine gun to protect my house, but I got a nice little 9. I got a 357. I mean, if you want to go old fashioned, I got a single action 6-Sawyer 22. I mean, that thing is a pain in the butt. I hate taking that thing to the range. Trump. I don't even know where to start with that. I really don't. I mean, for one, Americans were not given an option. You were given, all right, here you had Bernie. Bernie would have won had DNC not screwed over Hillary. Bernie. Bernie absolutely would have won. Trump wouldn't have stood a chance against Bernie. But then they're like, no, we don't want Bernie. We want Hillary in there. So they put Hillary in there. Well, you have multiple horrible things that are working against that. You have the fact that she has a death toll. So, and I want it known right now that I am not suicidal at all. So if I'm found dead, having committed suicide with 3 shots to the back of my head, she did it. You just like pop up at every side, don't you? But we're given the choice between somebody that has an actual calculable body count connected to her. And then we're given a businessman, and they're all like, oh, he's so successful. He's so successful. He's filed bankruptcy like 4 times. He has very little in liquid assets. But it was one of those, I think a lot of people were like, he's not going to win, so it doesn't matter. And I think some people voted for him just because they didn't want to vote for her, but they still didn't think he was going to win. And then you had Russia, we're going to go to war. And I have a phone call that y'all can listen to. Nope. Okay. All right. Just because I knew it was going to be a spam call and I want to stop. Can you please back up some, mama? But, Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, and I feel so naive and very, very stupid about this right here, is whenever he would talk about, I'm gonna build a wall and I'm gonna make, Mexico pay for it. For some reason, I did not compute that as him being serious. I thought it was a metaphorical wall or maybe increased security. I'm gonna make a wall of people. I don't know, but for some reason, it just never clicked in my head that he could be talking about a real wall, like a real physical wall that would rival like the Great Wall of China. It just, it's unfathomable to me. It's so stupid. I fully support increasing border patrol. Absolutely. I mean, every country has some kind of border patrol. So, I mean, I'm fully in support of that. But they're saying that the most recent government shutdown we had cost America $11 billion, with $3 billion of that being considered a permanent loss. He wants, what was it, $7 billion to build the wall? Had he not already created an extra $3 billion deficit, I mean, it's just all these things just keep adding up. Yeah, are you actually serious? Like, oh my God, no way, no way. I mean, it's embarrassing is what it is. It is embarrassing, and it is a letdown that those were the options we were given. So we weren't given a choice. I mean, do you want somebody that, Russia's already said we're going to go right to war with them, or somebody that could literally, well, not literally, but, we don't know, be in bed with the Russians? Putin seems like a freaky guy. And what's even worse about that is there are more tender moments and everything that you see Putin having. It's so much fun to say his name, Putin, than Trump. You don't see Trump ever doing anything kind. But there's a video of Putin wherever they're holding a puppy up. I don't hold dogs by the scruff of the neck, but a lot of people do, and it's especially a very big thing in other countries. They hold dogs by the puppies by the neck. And Putin comes over there and he starts cradling it. And it's like, when have we ever seen an ounce of that kind of compassion in Trump? Obama would have gone over there. He would have picked the dog up off the floor, done that. Bush would have gotten on the floor and been playing peekaboo with it. We all know that. But it's like every president before him had visible compassion, a visible heart. We see the humanity in them. All I see when he talks is literally Lisa Rinna's hemorrhoid butthole lips. Just, yeah, we're going to make a wall. It's going to be big. I can't even do that. Just, and I hate the fact that no matter what happens, if he ends up being the worst, the best, whatever happens, like 50 years from now, kids are going to be reading about him in school. He is not going to be forgotten. And to me, he's one of those people that we need to act like never existed. Like, once he's dead, gone. All I know is your chances of getting struck by lightning in a plane are higher than winning the lottery. He hasn't won the lottery. I haven't won the lottery. I don't think anybody watching this has won the lottery. So fingers crossed, people. Oh, Bush, bless his heart. I don't think he wanted to be president. I don't think he did. I think his dad made him do it. Daddy Bush. I don't think he ever wanted to be president, and I think it kind of showed. But one thing I did not agree with, he was so much fun to make fun of. He was, when he pulled on that push door like 8 different times. It's like Laurel and Hardy. But what I didn't like was on 9/11 when he was reading to those kids, and a staffer came in and told him what happened. That look on his face, people were making fun of him, like he was doing that, when really, I think we were seeing somebody's heart just drop and just, oh my God, what do I do? Which I think is a completely understandable and justifiable reaction to something like that. I was a senior in high school, and I was the only one tall enough to turn on the TV because it was really high up. I'm 6 feet tall. And I was the only one tall enough to turn on the TV. So, I'm kind of giving the teacher a little bit of smack, like, oh, I'll turn it on when I want to turn, just playing around. That was the kind of rapport I had with the teacher. It was a sociology class. And so I go up to the TV and I asked him, well, what channel should I put it on? And he just looked at me and is just calmly but firmly as possible just said, any. And I was like, okay. So I turned it on. The first tower had already been hit. About 5 minutes later is when the second tower got hit. Or not 5 minutes later. Just by the time I sat back down, actually, the second tower got hit. Nobody knew what was going on. For one, these are kids from Texas. Most of them don't even, they don't know what anything looks like. Maybe like if you showed them the Empire State Building and then a picture of the Eiffel Tower, they'd probably not even be able to tell you which one was which. That's, public school system. But, yeah, so I said, oh my God, that's the World Trade Center. Well, we have a World Trade Center in Dallas. So they're like, what? And I was like, oh my God, the World Trade Center in Dallas is like 3 stories tall, okay? This is, y'all are so stupid. So, I told them, no, that's the World Trade Center in New York. What the hell am I looking at? And then that's when I realized it, and I was like, oh my, are we being attacked? Like, this is obviously an attack, but is this an active attack? Like, And then there was just this like mass hysteria about it afterwards. All planes were supposed to be grounded. So if you were outside and you saw a plane, it was like the most terrifying thing you could see. My friend and I coped by playing Guess Who and watching Lifetime movies. Exit to Eden. It had Mark Paul Gosselaar in it. I remember that. Where, and the girl from Jeepers Creepers. The sister on there, who looks like she's 50 when she was like 20, she was on there, and they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and I don't want you with my daughter, so they ran away and dyed their hair. It was really stupid, but that's how I spent September 11th p.m. But yeah, I can just ramble off, but yeah, so I think Bush never wanted to be president, and while I appreciate how entertaining it was, nothing got done. And then Obama, I was not a big fan of his as a president, but I love that man as a person. I think that man is a very good person. I wasn't really a fan of him as a president. But I think that just comes with anybody that has any position of power like that. You might like them as a person, but not, like their, what they do. And I think as long as you can find the humanity and the humility of everything, I think there is a basis where everybody can get along. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to like anybody. I like very few people, but I can get along with everybody. Unless I don't want to, or I'm bored and then I just want to stir up stuff. But yeah, I'm going to have to cut this short here in a little bit. I really enjoyed High Evolutionary. I really enjoyed chatting with you. And normally I don't look this bad. I have a sore throat. My allergies are just totally killing me. Yeah, exactly. Humanity is just, it's so rare now. I remember growing up, you did not hear about all the good deeds that people did. No. Like, oh, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. You didn't hear about that stuff. Because that's just the way we were then. I gotta put my hair up. My hair is driving me crazy. That's just, the way things worked then. And then now it's like every time anything even remotely nice happens, we've got to report on it or it didn't happen. It's hot. It's so hot. So I got to let the hair up. Now my neck is cold, actually. But yeah, it used to be, we didn't have to deliver praise for doing the right thing, for doing good things. But now it seems like if we don't, then nobody will believe that anybody ever does anything that's not self-centered, that's not self-serving. And I think that's a big reason of why I love the criminal justice system and I love doing forensic research is while I don't know you, I can't fix what happened to you, your loved ones, whatever, but I can do my damn best, and I'm very good at what I do, at helping you find closure, getting the answers that you want and that you need and deserve to have. Um, so yeah, I think that humanity is definitely missing in humanity. And it's really sad, and it's even, and I don't mean to make this sound like, oh, poor me, pity party me, but it makes it hard for people who are like me that are very outspoken. We don't have much of a filter, never intentionally disrespectful, but very blunt. Well, now with this abject lack of humanity, now it's just like, oh, well, that chick is so rude. She's so mean. And that's not what it is at all. It's just everybody is so used to hearing these sugar-coated things. Like, well, oh, here's a big thing about me. I lost 216 pounds. I lost 216 pounds in about a year and a half. And then I had to have my girls redone because they were the first thing that went. So whenever I try to tell people, you know, and I don't give unsolicited health advice because that's just a jerk thing to do. But like if one of my friends asked me, if somebody just messaged me, hey, how did you do it? I will tell them. I mean, I'm not going to charge you the secret for my weight loss because it was so easy. It really was. It was just to stop listening to the things people were telling you and just follow what you're supposed to do. And you will lose all of that in no time. I mean, it was no hassle at all. And even though I lost so much weight because of my height, I don't really have much of an issue with skin. So I was lucky on that. But I will try to tell them, you know, first thing, cut out all carbonated drinks. All carbonated drinks. Wine, champagne, soda, sparkling water, all that. Cut it out. That is like the first step to do. And then they'll just be like, oh, you're just uppity because you don't drink that stuff. I got called uppity because I said I don't drink carbonated drinks. And it's like, no, it's because I have gone so long without drinking them that if I even take a sip, it's like battery acid. It doesn't taste good. It's awful. And part of me doesn't know if it's because maybe they've changed them in the last 5 or 6 years since I've had one. Because, oh, Dr. Pepper. Oh, Dr. Pepper. Cherry Dr. Pepper at that. Oh, man, that was... Oh. Yeah, see, people just... It's all about what other people think of you now. Absolutely. I mean, it is. And with me, it's like, I am fine. I don't want to be, but I will accept being the villain of everybody's story, of being the bad guy, if it helps you. Yeah, it's like crack. Dr. Pepper's awesome. But if it helps you become a better person, a better parent, a better whatever, then fine, make me the villain of your story. If that's what it takes to get you to where you want to be in life is to villainize me, okay, I'll do it. Make me the bad guy. Do it. Code Red. I liked Code Red, and then was it Baja Breeze, the blue one. If you drink a whole bunch of that, and the Agave Full Throttle, the one that with the USO advertisement on it, your pee and your poop will be neon green for like 2 days. I'm not even kidding. It will be like, I'm trying to look, like that color of green. You should be able to see that. Yeah, that's like the color of green. It's quite fascinating. But yeah, since I don't drink carbonated drinks anymore, I live off Diet Peach Tea by Lipton, the bottles, and Monster Rehab Peach Tea energy drinks. All the rehab drinks are real good if you're trying to keep low sugar, low calorie, all that, and trying to stay away from anything carbonated. It's fantastic. I was so happy about this. When I was at the store, I found some baked beans that were made with Dr. Pepper. So I'm like, well, yeah, let's get that going. So I actually ate them yesterday, and it just wasn't the same. You know, it's just kind of like, all right, I mean, I taste like the sweetness of the Dr. Pepper, but You know, I guess nothing could just really replace it. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this short because I got to get a run on my morning, even though it's now almost 11. I've delayed what I could as long as possible. I have summation I have to do at 3 o'clock. I have to go to court. I have to do my expert testimony, and then so I gotta finish the summation. I have court at. I have to be there at 1, so actually I gotta get ready, and then I got to start working on another case to get it done. So I've got junk to do, but I will try to get on since I actually had somebody communicating with me. I will try to get on more, and absolutely, it was great meeting you, High Evolutionary. You can message me whenever. I love getting to know new people, so I mean that's for everybody. If you want to just stop by, say hi. If there's a topic you want me to talk about, as proof that I can just ramble about anything, just let me know, and we can talk about whatever anybody else wants to talk about. But yeah, that's about it. So that's me. The main thing you need to know is I love criminal justice and I am 6 feet tall. That's normally all I tell people is, oh yeah, I'm that really tall redhead. So, and I probably won't look this terrible next time. So, everybody that's watching, have a great day. High Evolutionary, you have a super freaking fantastic day. And I will see everybody later. So,